In the last episode, we tried to get our boat started and ran into a number of problems. First being the requirement of a new starting solenoid, which we have right there, and we're also pouring fuel out of our Carby. So to fix that, I've gone and bought a Carby kit. So we're pulling this down, throwing it in our parts wash, reassembling it with the new kit, and hopefully fixing the problem once we bolt it back on the motor. So it's today's episode, pulling down the Carby. So it's time to pull apart our Carby. I've been a mechanic for quite a number of years now, however I have very little experience when it comes to carburetors. It's just not something I see very often with the cars and stuff that I'm dealing with. Thankfully though, it should be pretty basic. I mean, it's a simple little Carby, I hope. Looks like somebody's had a go at pulling it apart before. There's a bunch of screw marks and things on the different screws. Looks like they've used incorrect sizing. But yeah, let's strip it down so we can take a look, get it cleaned up. So because it was pouring fuel out, I'm taking a guess that we probably had a stuck float, something like that going on. Could also be a mixture screw that somebody's been playing with. I really don't know, as it's never been running in the time we've had it. So we are, to start with, pulling apart the float and the bowl. Doesn't want to come out. Oop, there we go. Now, I did think there was supposed to be a spring in there. I have actually had this part, just a quick look in there previously. I don't know where that's gone. Anyway, hopefully we get a new one, otherwise I guess we'll tackle that later. But yeah, it does have a bit of crap stuck in the bottom, so it very well could have been stuck. So I've gone ahead and taken a whole bunch of photos so that I hopefully remember how everything goes. But you never know. It's also one of the perks to recording, as it's got me out of trouble numerous times before. So it helps me to put the right socket on. I believe it was when I was doing the Subaru last, being able to look back through the videos because I forgot where something went, was able to rectify that problem. So this part here that I'm undoing is actually to do with our choke. That little solenoid on the end, it's got a plunger on the end. We've got electric solenoid that goes over, so when you activate the choke, back at the controls, pulls it up, opening it up. But that's what that does. Here's one of those damaged screws, and it's gonna be a problem. Said somebody's had a go at it, and they've really chewed them up. Makes life difficult. This one here. Oh, we got this one. Looks to just be a cap of sorts. Okay, so a little bit of struggling. I have managed to get some of these other ones undone. I believe they're just covers or plugs, so it's not anything too critical. Essentially, I just put a bit of heat into them, put them in the vise, and that was enough to get them moving. Okay, well, there's that baby. A little bit of crap in it. Whoop. Now, this plastic piece is also loose. Pop our kit out. Let's see what kind of bits we've actually got before I go good. Okay, so we got a new one of those. That might have to come out. What I'm not seeing though is that spring that I have potentially lost. So So what I'm not seeing in the kit is that spring I've potentially lost, which is unfortunate. However, I'm seeing a bunch of bits that I haven't pulled out yet, so I guess I'll keep pulling it down. I got this other little cover off. So just here, had the, it's just a plate basically. Didn't really need to take it off, but I got a new one, so figured may as well. All it does is covers the holes, I guess, that, I don't know, they go through into the main part. So it's just a blank, I don't know Carbys. That's what it does. I had a new one, so I removed it. All I know is when we bought the thing, we were told that the engine should run, it just need a Carby's cleaned. Whether that person is the one that's actually had a crack at this, found something couldn't work, or couldn't get it apart or that, or whether that was done by the person that owned it before them. As the guy we bought it off, whoop, losing stuff, bought it as a project, but didn't get very far. So I've got everything now in our little basket, even some of the stuff that we're not going to be using again, but we'll throw it all in anyway. So off to the ultrasonic cleaner. But first, to make it through the maze created by our motorbike mechanics. You think they would just set everything up much nicer, especially if you wanted to get something like the welder through. Our ultrasonic cleaner, in she goes. So I've just gone ding, time to pull it out. I've got all our parts out of the parts washer. I've done a camera swap because the batteries went flat on the other camera and I forgot to bring more batteries. Everything looks pretty cool, cleaned up quite nicely. We've got our new kit. It comes with a bunch of other bits because this kit is supposed to cover everything from like 4 horsepower to like 115 or something like that. So I'm assuming some of those parts are for the bigger Carby models. I don't know. I'm going to start assembling our float pieces, our needle and seat. I don't know Carbys. We're putting them back together. Hopefully in the right thing. So I also managed to find that little spring that I lost right at the start. It took me 15 minutes or so of searching all over the floor and everywhere else, and I found it just in the corner of the bench here. But I found it, so it's all good. Cool. I guess the assemble of it is really the reverse of the disassemble. I don't really know. But we do have this here little thing, which I actually had to Google how this worked. This little cover bit. So got this little dish piece. You can see she's got a little dish. I don't know, the camera's not really focusing, but it's got a dish. So apparently what you do is, oh god, that is totally the wrong size. Oh no. That's a problem. Probably shouldn't have wrecked the old one. How was I supposed to know? So normally that would fit inside that little hot gap thing there. You get your hammer and a little punch, go boom, turn it from a dish to a flat, like spreads out and fits in there, but ours doesn't fit in there, so I'll deal with that later. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess we could finish putting that together so that it's just together. We drop our float in. We take our little spring that I lost before. Make sure it goes in the hole like a good little spring. And then this goes on there, but with a new gasket, which fits. Good. So next up, I think we had our air fuel mixture screw. It went here. So this baby, pretty sure, nope, maybe not, wait. I don't know. Wait, it went in this hole. Let me screw it down. All the way, and then back it off one turn. I don't know whether that's right or not, but that's how it was in it when we pulled it apart, so that's what we're doing. At least it seems like you can't really assemble this thing wrong, because everything kind of only fits its one spot. This here little busted kind of one goes down here. Again, with the dropping. So it took me a few goes. I had the spring on in the wrong spot, but we're working again. Up, up, up. Besides this little doohickey here that was supposed to go in that hole there to block those holes, being the wrong size, and I don't know what I'm going to do there. This thing's ready to go back on the boat. So I'm going to try and work that out, and I guess I'll see you once I'm done. So I fixed some of yesterday's problems, one being I now have some new batteries, or some recharge batteries in the cameras, and I also solved our little bung problem, this little cover that was wrong in the kit that we had. It was too large, so I got a little bit of brass, basically shaped it down to the right size, put a bit of a dome in it, put it in, smacked it back the other way, added a bit of sealant. Hopefully it seals up. I think it should do a good job. But it is time now to put this back together. Something which, looking at now, I have no idea what the hell we're doing. I'm hoping that I've taken enough photos and videos that I can see how this works. Let's find out. Also, new starting solenoid, so that should hopefully fix all our starting problems too. So we won't be firing this thing up today, even when I do get it back together, just because I want the other two here, meaning that the first fire up is kind of a pinnacle moment, and I think that should be shared amongst everybody. But what we're going to try and do is get it to that stage that it's ready to be turned, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it does fire up. So I've got a Carby bolted on, it's looking okay. So it's time to just continue putting this thing together. Next up, I think the starter motor. Said I can't really remember at this point. So hopefully, I don't have to put anything off. It all just slots together. So this has at some point had the original bracket that holds the starter motor broken, which from what I've read is a common kind of issue. They've made up this adapter plate, which kind of does make it a little bit harder to get the starter motor in and out. But should, there we go, still be able to get it. So I've got this little broken bit, which I have tried to weld in before. It's broken off the other side too. It's managed to stay welded, however this one's broken off again at some stage. So it goes in there, and this other little bracket goes over here. Something like that. Same thing over here through the bracket that they've made, the original, the broken piece, and into our starter motor. Okay, that's on. It was kind of the easy bit. The next problem we've got is working out where this all here goes. Thankfully, I took a whole bunch of photos, so hopefully we got enough of them to work that out. first thing I'm going to do is attach our new starting solenoid to our bracket, because that bit I definitely know where it goes. I'm dropping more bolts. Our new solenoid is attached to our bracket. It's gonna go in there, and everything else is gonna get bolted to it. Apparently. Join our plug together. Goes. In there. It's my phone ringing. And done. So I've got it back together. I think it's right. I'm not 100% confident, but everything has a home. And yeah, I guess we'll find out when we try and start this thing. But before we do that, I will have to get the other two here so they can witness the moment that this thing hopefully fires to life and we find out how much, you know, whether we made our money's worth, I guess. Anyway, if you want to know if this thing's going to start, you'll have to join us in the next episode. So I suggest hitting subscribe, also turning on that notification bell so you will be one of the first to know when this video gets posted. Otherwise, if you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.